2025 has been a real banner year for myself. One, as a content creator on YouTube and TikTok, I've gotten more consistent in my schedules. So far, I've managed to upload at least once a week, every week. I can't control how many views I get. All I can do is put my best foot forward with each video and hope that they resonate with the YouTube algorithm and audience. The second way it's been a banner year is this is the first year that I've really gotten into role-playing games and the roguelike genre. So since it's the end of the year, I figured I could go over my 2025 gaming log and just kind of take stock as how I've developed as a gamer and content creator this year. My 2025 gaming experience was mostly dominated by Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. KCD 2 surprised me in its depth and grabbed a hold of my attention without letting go for the better part of the year. Henry's second adventure allowed me to live out my dream of being a knight. It's difficult, but in a way that you're able to overcome it. When you first start the game, you'll be lucky if you can kill one person with a shitty sword. By the end of the game, you're taking on groups of 3 to 4 enemies who have nice swords and full sets of armor. As Henry grows into himself throughout the story, you grow alongside him. Sprinkle in incredibly immersive elements such as the need to sleep, eat, and bathe, and you might end up neglecting those things in real life in order to make sure that Henry is putting his best foot forward. I love this game. I think it's as close to perfect as you can get. It's my game of the year, and the game that I credit with converting me from a mostly ball and gun video game player to someone who's beginning to see what's out there in the RPG genre. So in that way, I highly suggest that anyone and everyone gives it a shot. Following my months immersing myself in KCD 2, I figured that now would be as good a time as any to play the first game. I was met with a Henry who starts off even more useless than he did in the beginning of the second game. The sequel does a good job of recapping the events of the first game so you can fully understand Henry's motivations, but it's different when you actually witness and become an active participant in the inciting incident. From the moment Henry's village gets pillaged and his friends and family are left to die, I was hooked. Having played the second game first, I was more prepared to face combat. While the two games have slight differences in their combat, I found myself actually preferring the original version. Again, this may just be because I was decent at it from the jump versus being absolutely terrible at it when I started in KCD 2. While the graphics aren't nearly as good, and I'll admit there is an inherent clunkiness to the game, I loved getting to see where Henry's story began, and it made things from the second game mean more. Imagine that, the first game in a series leading into the second game. What a concept. I highly suggest checking out KCD if you haven't already. It usually goes on sale during the various sales on Steam and can be had for pretty cheap. For the amount of time that you'll get out of it, anything under $30 really feels like highway robbery. Plus, an added bonus, it plays really well on the Steam Deck. Most of my time was spent playing it there, and I never really ran into any issues. This actually leads me into my next big gaming moment of 2025, getting and becoming a daily user of the Steam Deck. When I first saw the Steam Deck, I was certainly interested, but unsure how it would run games on the limited hardware. My brother got me it as a gift this year, and it has become my daily driver. Sure, it's not as good as my PC, but it really enables me to game more as it's readily available. It's perfect to fit into your daily schedule, whether that's playing during a quick lunch break or waiting for your podcast to render and upload. Either way, you can pick up the Steam Deck and get a quick 10 to 30 minute play session in. This isn't to say that you can't use it for regular gaming. I already mentioned how I primarily used it to play KCD 1, but I also played a majority of my playthrough of Ghost of Tsushima on it as well, and I never really felt like I was getting a lesser experience. But where the Steam Deck really shines is the roguelike genre. The Steam Deck has opened the door to a genre that I may have never tried had I not gotten one. As I said, the Steam Deck makes it easy to pick up games for a few minutes. Well, roguelike games were literally made for that style of play. I tried my first with Balatro as it was at the top of the list of games to buy on Steam Deck, and I was hooked immediately. Every run, I learned more about the cards and how they work together, and gained new abilities to help me on future runs. I loved it, and I had to try more games in this genre. Probably unsurprisingly, I tried out Vampire Survivors next, and that's where I went from enjoying roguelikes to being absolutely addicted. Time melted away as I tried to best myself with each run. The characters each provide a nice primary weapon to help you tackle any situation. From there, I tried out Megabonk, which was built as 3D Vampire Survivors, and yeah, that's exactly what it is. I became equally addicted to that before switching over to Brotato, an auto-shooter roguelike with a little potato man trying to survive on an alien planet until help arrives. Various weapons and abilities add to your quests in trying to escape, and it's the right amount of challenging and goofy. By far and away, my favorite roguelike of the year has to be Ball Pit. Ball Pit's a roguelike brick breaker, which combines the classic gameplay loop of runs to unlock new characters and abilities to beat various levels in order to progress, but it also adds in the twist of being a city management game. In between rounds, you manage your city and resources within, collecting them and using what you collected to afford buildings that will give you upgrades to assist in your runs or collecting resources. So you're not only staying to play the runs over and over, but you're also encouraged to continue playing to help your city grow. It's a wonderful feedback loop, and I've lost many hours to it. I mentioned earlier in the video that I had been playing Ghost of Tsushima on my Steam Deck. This is my first big game of the year outside of the KCD series. It's certainly more of an action-heavy take on an RPG, but it makes sense. The main character, Jin, is a samurai. When you begin the game, it makes sense that he's going to be decent at combat. You only grow stronger as you progress the story, which has a solid amount of weight. Jin is forced to betray the honor code that governs the samurai in order to save his home. That results in a heavy loss of respect by those who he cares most deeply about. The situation is desperate, and so are his tactics. It shows how the samurai code can hold the samurai back in the time of war. While honor is good, it means nothing to the dead. I find that aspect especially compelling as you transition from a samurai to the ghost. I highly recommend this one, though I'm so late to the party that I'm sure you've already played it if you're watching this. But if not, check it out. Finally, the last game to get its hooks into me this year has been Arc Raiders. I never really thought I'd be one to enjoy the extraction shooter genre. It always appeared to be too grindy, too difficult, but Arc Raiders provides a more casual experience. Sure, there are runs that will end with you getting ambushed by enemy teams, but proximity chat gives you an opportunity to talk your way out of these things. Plus, the arcs themselves provide you with the chance to team up with random players to ensure that you all survive. It doesn't feel as crabs in a bucket as it could, and has been an excellent introduction to this style of game. Time really melts away with this one. Runs aren't that long, which compels you to dive in just one more time. And before you know it, you look over to the clock and you realize that it's past midnight and you've been playing all night. I look forward to seeing what Embark Studios does with this game going forward. So that's been my 2025 in gaming. I hope you enjoyed it. I feel like since it's the end of the year, it's a nice time to recap everything. I've had a lot of fun running this channel this year, and I look forward to improving on it going forward. I really appreciate everyone who subscribes and watches these videos. YouTube can be a tough nut to crack. You're never really sure what will resonate with the audience. Heck, this video could get 20 views, could get 1,000. I really don't know. But I look forward to figuring out what people want and growing more in 2026. So once again, thank you so much for checking this one out. Have an awesome holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and I will see you in the next one. If you're looking for something to fill the time this holiday season, I'm going to try to upload as much as I can through the end of the year, but we also have our other channels, which include Those Fake Nerds for nerd and pop culture news, Wicked Good Sports for sports news, Better Radio for our podcasts, and our newest channel, History is Wicked, where we cover cryptids, urban legends, and weird history stories. Again, thank you so much for checking this one out, and I will see you in the next one.